Welcome to everyone. Welcome to the guests that are here this morning, and special Yashikov to Baal Shachris. And you know that you give grandfather a great deal of pleasure because grandfather calls his Shep Nachas crew. Sometimes there's a different word that people mistakenly say, Shlep Nachas. Shlep Nachas is when you don't have Nachas and you have to schlep it. You have to find a way to drag something and find something about which you appreciate. Shep Nachas is to sit back and to say, I enjoy it. So that's what he was able to do today. He said he was on strike this morning and won't compare the replacement with the original, but all I can say is that he's certainly Shep Nachas. We mentioned in the last few days a number of things about Tu B'Av, and we mentioned on Tisha B'Av itself that this was the time when those who were dying in the wilderness, in the way to the land of Israel, stopped dying, and therefore there was happiness as a result of that. We mentioned yesterday about two issues of marriage in which the Jewish people were permitted to marry within each other, and there wasn't anyone who was restricted as long as it was not forbidden by the Torah, and there was this unity in the Jewish people. There are a number of other things that are mentioned as to what took place on this day. One was that the Haruge Beitar, those who had been killed at the time of the rebellion against the Romans at Beitar, were permitted to be buried. As we had mentioned, they were not permitted to be buried for many years. The Romans forbade them as a sign to the Jewish people, don't rebel against the Jews. When finally it was permitted for them to be buried, there were two things that were being celebrated. Number one, that we could finally bury the Jews, and number two, that the bodies had not decomposed over all those years, and that was the establishment, the time of the establishment of the bracha of Hatov v'Hametiv in benching. The other thing that's mentioned that took place at this time is that the Shomrim, the guards that Yeravam ben Nevat had set up when he split away from the southern kingdom and created the northern kingdom, those guards to prevent Jews from going to the Beis HaMikdash were taken away, and there was unity in the Jewish people. Once again, a little bit more. So if we would take a look at all of the things that have been mentioned, it's either because of the fact of mourning stopped, that is, the Mesei Midbar, those who died in the wilderness, or those who were killed at Beitar, that is, the mourning stopped, or else it was because the Jewish people could be once again together and there wasn't this artificial separation within the Jewish people. There's another thing that took place at this time, and we're told that this is when they stopped chopping wood to be used for the Mizbeach, for the altar in the Beis HaMikdash. Why did they stop at this time? Because summer is coming to an end, and therefore there aren't as many warm days for the wood to dry out properly to make a good fire. And therefore, up till this point, there would have been enough enough time for the wood to dry out. From now on, there wouldn't be enough time. And it's also, so now how does this fit in with either of the others? In which category does it go in? So I would say really it goes into the category of stretching a little. Wood is necessary for the rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash. In other words, that the mourning is over because now we have the wood once again. It's also pointed out that at this time, sunset is getting earlier, which means, besides summer is coming to an end, it also means that the night is longer. And if the night is longer, what do we Jews look at it as an opportunity for? More Torah study during the time of the night. And that's a reason for celebration also. So to everyone, have a good, shorter day than yesterday, and use the time well. For our locals, I just want